Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. I'm so high. So welcome back for part 2 of Josh flying solo. Dannon is in Indiana visiting his family. I don't know why I'm so loud. The dogs are gonna freak out. I gotta chill. You know what? Actually, I took the dogs today, 2 of them, to get their teeth cleaned, and when they do that, they have to put them under. So they're always super out of it. And it's my big ones. It's the Husky and the Pit Bull, and they are just so out of it, and it's really cute. I don't advocate just giving dogs anesthesia all willy-nilly, but I think it might be the way to go. I think knocking them out for a day and then watching them just kind of be like, I don't feel good. It's really, really cool. No, I'm just kidding. I love them, and I'm one of those people that I'm like, by the way, you call me the minute that you're finished. The minute that I can come and retrieve them, you let me know. And they're like, okay, well, the last call for pickup is like 5. I'm like, 5? You give me my babies back immediately. I'm standing at the counter, and my Husky, Mia, she was so freaked out today. And she's never normally like this, but I guess she had a lot of anxiety being in the kennel, and she was scratching and she was hurting her nails. So they put her in a room to just kind of be by herself. Well, when I got there to pick him up, I could hear her in the room just crying and crying and crying by herself. And so I went over to the door and I was like, it's okay, Mia. And then she stopped because she could hear me. But then that just made it even worse because now she could hear that I was on the other side, but I couldn't open the door. And the lady's trying to tell me, she's like, yeah, so just tonight, be careful when you're letting them eat. And I was like, Miss, will you go get my baby out of this room? I promise. I'll sign all your things. I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do. Just go get my fucking baby out of this room. She's going crazy in there. So then they opened it up and she peed everywhere. Crazy girl. But she did not like today. My Husky was not about today. Even after she got out, she loved seeing me, but then it was like, get me the fuck out of here. She was like, I'm over this. But we had to wait for her brother. We had to do the whole sign out thing. But my puppies got their teeth cleaned today, so it's real quiet because there's some sleeping going on, which is a good thing. In a house of 5 dogs, having a nice quiet, not common. So we talked a little bit yesterday about week 17. We talked about some of the big matchups and some clinching that happened. This is the week of, there are only a few. Let's see, there are five games that by my eye, have any kind of real playoff, whether you make it or you don't. There are seeding games, which we will get to, as far as like you're playing and you still want to win because you want to be a higher seed. But there are 5 games where you neither win or you're going home. And so to start off, it's going to all be on Sunday. That is, what accent has this turned into? There will be no Monday Night Football, no Thursday, no Saturday. It's all on Sunday because it is the last week of the year. They extended, of course, the season, and now we play 18 weeks. They're going to play 30 weeks next week, and then it's going to be 82 games. No, I'm just kidding. It is crazy that they're adding games, but I hope they just get rid of the preseason. I think that will solve a lot of that. Just get rid of the preseason. But going into week 18, we have some matchups that are going to be like, hey, Red Zone. And actually, Red Zone did a good job this last week. They were like, there's not a lot of playoff potential here, so we're not going to watch this game. So they would go away from it and go back to the big games. Like they went to Cincinnati and Kansas City a lot. I appreciate that. They went to the Rams in Baltimore a lot. That was good. So they and the Raiders and the Colts, they went to that game a lot. They knew the games that were bigger deals. Arizona, Dallas, they showed that one a lot. So Red Zone knows what they're doing. That's why we're brought to you by them. Go and check out Red Zone at your local Red Zone store. So let's talk about Kansas City at Denver. Kansas City at Denver. Kansas City's a 10-point favorite. I think Denver's pretty beat up, and I think that's a pretty good number, especially Kansas City wanting, I think, to go in with. And Kansas City has a chance where if Tennessee loses to Houston, they could become the number 1 seed and get a bye. So they're going to play all out on the road here, and they're going to try to beat Denver. I think they win. I'm going with Kansas City to cover the 10 points. I think they do it. Yeah. And go to mybookie.com and play that. Do the promo code. I don't have one. So Dallas at Philly. This is a divisional. It's not for the division because Dallas has them by a game, but it is for Philly to have bragging rights and go into the playoffs saying, we can beat you, motherfuckers. So I don't know how much neither one of them really need this. Like I said, Dallas and Arizona are pretty much locked into that 4 and 5 seed. Dallas will be the number 4 because they won their division. Philly is in based on strength of schedule, so they won't move out of the number 7 seed. They could, I guess, jump to the 6th seed if maybe they go above New Orleans, but they are in the playoffs. So not a win necessary game. This is not one of the ones that I marked as a playoff implicated. You either win, lose, something will happen with your playoff hopes. It's not like that. They're both in. So it'll be interesting to see who plays. Dallas is a 7-point favorite. I actually have Philly beating them. It's at home. Like I said, I don't really know what Dallas has to play a lot of their players for. They don't have a lot to. They need to keep everybody healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a lot of them sit. That line might move based on that, but I'm gonna go Philly in this. I'm gonna go Philly getting a win. I haven't been crazy about Dallas the last couple of weeks, and they lost this week against a good team in Arizona. So I'm gonna take Philly. I'm gonna take Philly. So go to mybookie.com. Tennessee at Houston. Tennessee 10.5. I don't know why it's that low. I would have thought the number would have been bigger. I think it's easy for them. I think they know we win this. We give Derrick Henry another week to get healthy. For A.J. Brown to get another week of rest. For Julio Jones potentially to get another week of rest. For all of our guys to come back 100% for the playoffs. That is huge. So I think Tennessee stomps our dicks in the dirt, and that's me being a Texans fan. But no, I mean, what do the Texans want to win this game for? Let's get as good of a pick as we can at this point. The season is over. We're over. We need to roll out. Fucking, I'll go play quarterback. It'll be fun. No, I would die. But Tennessee, I think, gets this win, and I think they cover 10.5 pretty easy. Cincinnati at Cleveland. I don't know if it was just the time of day. I hadn't had any. They didn't put a line up there where I could see it, and I didn't do a lot of research. I'm going to be honest. I don't care because Cleveland has been very bad, and Cincinnati has been very good. Cincinnati does want to stay at a higher seed. I don't think they want to play New England straight off the bat. I think they would rather have a home game against someone like Indianapolis or the Chargers or the Raiders or one of these things. I think that sounds better to them, so I think there is something for them to play for. However, it doesn't matter for the playoffs. Cincinnati's in. They won their division. They're in. They're going to get a home game. But for bragging rights, I don't know why you would want to do it, but they might not play everybody, especially if people are banged up. Joe Burrow did hobble off the field after the game-winning drive, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But I'm still going to take Cincinnati. I love my new Cincinnati Bengals. I love Joe Burrow, and I think they come out strong in this, and they get the job done. And I think that they want to go into the playoffs feeling right. And I think they stomp Cleveland out pretty easy because I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to play, which means it might be Case Keenum, who's a good player. But Cleveland has not looked good, and they don't really have a lot of weapons left. So, yeah. Green Bay at Detroit, another one. I didn't do too much research, and maybe I just forgot to write it. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess that Green Bay's favorited pretty high in this game, whether they play all their players or not. I think Green Bay gets their win. I don't care if Jordan Love plays. I think Green Bay gets this win. I'm done sticking up for you, Detroit. It's going to be pretty easy for them. Not a playoff implication. I doubt all of them play. I doubt Aaron Rodgers plays. I don't know why you would. It would be awful if he went out there and played and he got hurt. So I would imagine a lot of Green Bay is going to sit during this game. So that means red zone. Keep this out of my eyes, including the next game. My God, do not show me this game, which is Chicago at Minnesota. Absolutely no playoff teams in this game. I'm going to take Minnesota. Who gives a fuck? They're a 2.5 point favorite. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Washington at the Giants. Oh no, you're going to get some deja vu here as I say, who gives a fuck? Don't show me this. I'll take Washington. Vegas is taking them 6.5 points. It seems a little high for me, but sure, why not? The Giants suck. I'm skipping right through those games on purpose, as should you, Red Zone. Then we get to one that does matter. I think that Jacksonville is the worst team in the league, but Indianapolis is a 15.5 point favorite because they are that bad. And I think Indy knows, I mean, they have to. I think that's why that's still not locked in because they have to win to put them in and to knock out Pittsburgh and Baltimore, who are also playing in the next game I was about to mention, which is Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Anyways, I'm going to take Indy in this. I think they cover that 15.5 easy. Jacksonville's terrible, and I think they saw them out to get themselves in the playoffs, which would then make this next game completely irrelevant. But Pittsburgh at Baltimore, I think that's the only hope that they have is that Indy loses. But Pittsburgh... While they fought, I didn't see the line on this game either, and Baltimore's beat up too. This is an interesting game. I took the home team just because, just kind of that, maybe that 3-point swing that Vegas always says. But I can't imagine the line being much bigger than that. Baltimore's could really beat up. But Lamar Jackson will likely play just to give them that last bit of hope. Although if they look up and they see the screen that shows Indianapolis absolutely throttling Jacksonville and Lamar Jackson is hurt, there might be a chance where you just see them pull guys and just play out that game. But it's an interesting game because there is a lot to play for. Pittsburgh could play and potentially get themselves in a chance where Indianapolis loses and then they're in. Baltimore, same story. So it's a big game for them, but it's also all depending on will Indianapolis lose to Jacksonville. But neither here nor there. We go to a game that has playoff implications, and it makes me sick to my stomach, and that's the New Orleans Saints with Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian and Ian Book and whoever the fuck else they want to roll out there, and the Atlanta Falcons. And for some reason, I guess because Sean Payton's a good coach and they have a good defense, they're saying that the New Orleans Saints are a 4.5 point favorite over the Atlanta Falcons. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, I hear you, they had a competitive game going on with Buffalo last week in the snow, okay? And now they're going to go home to a dome against a bad team. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they can ruin New Orleans' shots of making the playoffs, which New Orleans has been a division kind of rival for years. I see Atlanta winning this game. This has playoff implications just because New Orleans needs this win to get them in over San Francisco, meaning San Francisco would have to lose and New Orleans has to win. But I think Atlanta plays the ruiner here. They muck it all up, and I think they beat them. So go to mybookie.com and bet on the Falcons. Said no one ever. Then we go to the Jets at Buffalo. 17 points is outrageous, especially to a team that just played very, very strong against Tampa Bay. I struggled with this for a long time because it is such a big number, but I ended up going with Buffalo and saying, okay, maybe because it's the last game of the season, it's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be snowy again. Buffalo's defense played really well at the end of that game against Atlanta. And I could see them kind of making a statement win against the Jets, who really have nothing to play for but a better pick like the Houston Texans and the Jaguars and everybody else. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong and the 17 points is too high, but Buffalo, I think, should win this. Not going to affect the playoffs because I think that Buffalo is going to make the playoffs no matter what. They do, I think, over New England want to win the division, so they would want to get this win so that New England could then if Buffalo loses and New England wins, I think New England would end up winning the division. I don't know if that's been locked up yet. I don't know. I am an analyst and I do this full time. But San Francisco at the Rams is a very interesting game. It's interesting because the Rams, I think Tampa Bay plays all out against Carolina. That's a game as well. I guess I can skip ahead to that one and say Carolina at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 8-point favorite. I wonder what I'm going to go with. I'm going to always go with Tom Brady. I think they play hard too because they know if we get the number 2 seed, maybe, San Francisco or Philly are kind of very similar teams, but I think you still want to get the number 2 seed because then, let's say the Rams win, you want them coming to Tampa Bay. So no matter what, I think the Rams and Tampa Bay have something to play for. San Francisco definitely has something to play for. They have to win to get in. They have to go into the Rams Stadium, the new SoFi Stadium, and win. It's gonna be interesting. Going to be very interesting. I think this is a very good game of the week. I think this one and probably the Chargers and Raiders is probably best games of the week just because of implications. Man, look at where we ended up, right? We said that 3 teams from the NFC West were going to make the playoffs, and they probably will. Now, I say that because I do think the spoiler will be Atlanta beating New Orleans, so it won't matter. San Francisco will get in regardless. But I'm going to take the Rams in this because of what I said, where the Rams are thinking the same way that Tampa Bay is, and they want to get this win. So I'm going to take the Rams to pull this win out. I could be wrong. Trey Lance could have his coming out party. This will be one of the big ones that I know the Red Zone will watch because this is such a big playoff game. But this will be a really good game. I'm excited for this game on Sunday. Then we go to New England at Miami. We talked about it briefly already. You know, New England, if they can get this win, I don't know. I actually don't know if Buffalo's already clinched the division or not. But they have because they have the same record, so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. That must be. I mean, if New England goes 11-6 and Buffalo goes 10-5, then New England will win the division. But so that being said, I think New England plays hard to beat Miami, and I think they cover 6.5 points easy. It is not a playoff implication game because New England will make the playoffs, but what their seed is and whether or not they get a home game against Buffalo, I guess that's what they're playing for. Home field advantage, Buffalo and New England. Who's going to get to come to their stadium? So New England's going to play hard. I think they win decidedly. Let's Miami show some heart, huh? Come out there and Jalen Waddle it the fuck up. I like that he waddles. Seattle at Arizona. That 6.5 points doesn't seem high enough. I think Arizona does win this game. Although, I mean, maybe if they're seeing this 50 burger that fucking Russell Wilson came out there and threw up. But I think Arizona wins. I think they win because they want as good of a vibe going into this. Although, if Kyler's hurt, if any of these guys are hurt, James Conner I think got hurt. I wouldn't play them because it doesn't matter. You're not going to move down to the 6th seed. You will be the 5 seed and you'll play Dallas. That is set. That rematch is set. Doesn't matter if they go to 11-6 because nobody can get to 11-6 as well. The best that San Francisco or Philly can be is 10-7. So I don't know. They might not play anybody. I probably wouldn't play Kyler. I wouldn't play anybody that's hurt. And maybe Seattle can get it done. But I'll take Arizona in this as the home team to go into the playoffs strong. Same thing with Tampa Bay, like I said. And then we go to the biggest one that they moved to the night game because it is the Chargers at the Raiders. Win and you're in. This is for all the marbles. This is fourth down. If you lose, you go home. The Raiders have had an incredible season of John Gruden and Henry Ruggs and Harry Ruggs or whatever the fuck his name was. And the Chargers have had all kinds of ups and downs. And they have taken me through the roller coaster because the week that I need Justin Baybear to go off, he'll get me 13 or something. But they are so up and down that I kind of think the moment will get to them. And not to say that, is there a bug in here? What is this? Are we outside? I'm not sold on Derek Carr. I don't think that the Raiders are this incredible. I haven't said that all year. I don't think they're a world beater. But I think this moment is big. The Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite, and I'm going to go with the Raiders to sneak this one out. Again, not a big Derek Carr fan, but I just think there's something in the air. They seem to pull it out. They seem to figure it out. They win these close games. Last week's game was proof of it, beating Indianapolis, who is a good team. So we'll see if I'm wrong. Maybe the Chargers can get it done and they'll get in the playoffs. If they do get in the playoffs and they're playing Kansas City in the first round, I think I'm going to take Kansas City pretty easily in that. But we shall see. That is Week 18. That is looking like a lot of good games. Those 5 in particular that have the playoff implications I'm interested in. I'm interested to see who plays and who doesn't, whether Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, maybe even Tom Brady and Matt Stafford. I mean, if they feel comfortable. So we'll see what happens, but I've got a good feeling that these playoffs are going to be pretty epic. We've had some really good play this year. Some new teams getting in, like Cincinnati. The Rams are a totally different team with Matt Stafford. So, by the way, that cough. No, I won't go in. Oh, I was going to go in. I want to live my life. That's all I'll say. But the Chargers and the Raiders, it's definitely the biggest game of the week because it is player get in. The Rams is not, because the Rams and the 49ers is not player get in. It is for the 49ers. But if the Rams lose, they lose. It doesn't matter. They're still in the playoffs. So the Chargers and the Raiders is literally one of you is going to get in, one of you is going home. So big implications. Yeah. But I'm going to take the Raiders in the upset. I think it is an upset. I think it would be an upset. I'm with Vegas. The Chargers should win this game. The Raiders are going to upset them. But man, it's been a good football season. It's coming to an end here. I'm excited for the playoffs. We'll definitely talk through the playoffs, and then we'll move on to other sports. So we're going to talk about random things. I think me and Dan talked about we're still going to get together and shoot the shit and kind of let us go fully off the tracks here. Football is always what we try to talk about, but these next couple of waiver wires are going to be interesting because we're going to have less football to talk about and more just random shit. So tune in. I'm going to be making clips, I promise, because I realize that these are long shows to watch. So I'm going to clip some shit together. And one of the clips that I'm going to make is about basketball, also known as basketball. The NBA is almost to its halfway point, I believe. I know Christmas Day is always where we kind of say, like, that's where it starts up. To me, it's more like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is finally where it's like, okay, and now we're really where basketball is for real. But I put on here the standings just to kind of talk about surprises. Memphis being one of them. I don't think anybody had Memphis being as good as they are this year. I think we knew that Miami would be good on the eastern side, but I don't think we knew Chicago would be the number one motherfucking seed. But it is such a ragtag group that Chicago put together. Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan. The Lakers could have had DeMar DeRozan. You cannot tell me that they could not have offered that man money and said, come play with LeBron. We'll make this work. And they could have had a much DeMar DeRozan and fucking Buddy Hield. Could that have been a thing? The Lakers fucked this up. And, the Eastern Conference, Chicago, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Miami, Cleveland's been a surprise, although I think that will fall out because they lost Garland too, and they lost Colin Sexton. So they're a good young team, but I have that kind of going by the wayside as this goes on. I have Philly going ahead of them. They're 6 right now. Washington's been a surprise too. Kuzma really has fallen into a good role there, especially with some of the other pieces that Washington got. They're a good young surprise too. Charlotte, LaMelo. I like LaMelo. I think that Charlotte, they don't scare anybody. Neither does Boston or Toronto, who are right there 9 and 10 looking to get in. I can't believe Toronto. I mean, they've just been completely depleted by everyone. They've lost everyone. They have no Kyle Lowry. They have nobody. They have no Kawhi. They have nothing left from. They're just what's his name? Damn, I can't even remember his name. But he played so great. Pascal Siakam. Yeah, but the Eastern Conference, man, Chicago, that's got to be the biggest surprise. I don't believe in Brooklyn because will Kyrie be here or will he not? For how long? For when is his mental health break? Is that going to be in the middle of the playoffs? James Harden sucks. Let me tell you, I'm a Rockets fan. I've seen it for years. He sucks. He sucks in the playoffs. He hunts for fouls. He looks for refs to bail him out of games. His shot goes because he's just not conditioned enough. He is not a fucking world champion. That's why he doesn't win in the playoffs. In the fucking where we're up 3-1 on the Warriors, and that game 7 where we set, I think, a fucking record where we missed 20-something threes in a row. He was a part of that. He was a part of not hitting those shots when Chris Paul was out. And all we needed was one of those fucking things to go in, and we would maybe change the tide. But James Harden is not it. And I'm not big on Milwaukee either. I mean, I know they just won, but it was kind of a weird year of everybody being injured and out. So if everybody's healthy, I mean, are they beating Golden State? Are they beating Phoenix the way Phoenix has been playing? Are they beating Brooklyn this year? Are they beating Chicago? Chicago's they're good, man. They're fucking good. What a ragtag group of fucking misfits. What am I talking about? Over on the Western side, but yeah, I think most of this stay the same, except Cleveland probably falls out of this. They lost Ricky Rubio as well. So they probably fall out of this just because of injuries. But still a good young group. Maybe LeBron goes back. Out in the Western Conference, Golden State, number 1 right now, followed closely by Phoenix. Utah is still playing great. Donovan Mitchell, I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. He's like fucking D-Wade. He's very, very good. He's a franchise player for sure. Memphis, I don't get it. I mean, I know, I do get it. Ja Morant is for real. Ja Morant is for real. That's what it is that Ja is a superstar and he's here to stay. And he's the new Damian Lillard if Damian Lillard doesn't get the fuck out of there, because your best years are probably behind you, Dame, and you're rotting away in Portland. You're rotting away there, and I feel bad for him. But Ja Morant has got a good young group around him, and maybe this is them a little too high right now. Maybe they fall down, maybe to more like a 6 or a 7, but I think they make the playoffs for sure. And then Denver will always be there, especially they got Jamal Murray playing well again. Joker's good. Denver's going to be a tough out if they have everybody healthy, because Michael Porter Jr. is here for real now. And then a team that I'm not the next 5 teams I'm not in love with: Dallas, Clippers, Lakers. Clippers have everybody in and playing. I don't even think Kawhi's played at all. Paul George is going to miss some time. Nobody sees them as a threat. Dallas, they're too up and down for me to really believe in them either. I mean, I like Luka, but the rest of the team is average, and I just don't think they're there yet. Where they're not winning the championship, are they? They're not beating any of these top teams: Golden State, Phoenix, Utah, Memphis, Denver. That's got to be the top of the West. Those 5. Then after that, it's a crapshoot. And number 8 right now is the LA Lakers. You made your bed, you got to lie in it. You know. You wanted Russell Westbrook. I kind of have to agree with Skip Bayless on that. It might have been the the out of, well, if I win with Russ, look what I did. I'm such an amazing guy. If I lose with Russ, he's the perfect scapegoat because everyone knows this is what he does. I don't know if that's what you did, but Russell Westbrook does suck, and LeBron is doing. Look at how good LeBron is at fucking 37, bro. Get the fuck out of here. And year 19, you see other people doing this? No, you did not. You did not see players at that age dunking that way, playing that way. He is single-handedly trying to carry the team. He's fucking 32, 10, and 8 over the last, 12 games. He is absolutely killing it. This is not your fault, Bron. This is all the pussies around you, but you did build this team, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'd like to see a little more Trevor Ariza with LeBron. I like that. I like that pairing. Trevor Ariza has a really good basketball IQ, and I always thought when Trevor Ariza was on the Rockets, I always thought, man, this would be a perfect forward for Bron because he can facilitate too. Trevor Ariza understands the pass really well. So I want to see more of that on the court at the same time. I think that could help. He's also a scrappy defender. So more Trevor Ariza. I'm a basketball coach. You don't know. And then it surprised me that Minnesota and Sacramento shows me how little that I'm paying attention right now. I don't know what. I know that Anthony Edwards on Minnesota is really good, and De'Aaron Fox is good on Sacramento. So those are both good young teams, and I believe that they're on the up and up, and that the Lakers could very well not make the playoffs because they just don't play very well. They don't make smart decisions. Russell Westbrook is a loser, and that's really what it comes down to. He always has been. He's always been a loser. I never liked him. I didn't like him when he got traded to the Rockets. I hated that. And now I hate this for my man. I mean, I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for LeBron. But I also think he might be chasing just numbers at this point. He knows the championship thing is so hard because of super teams. And I don't mean just the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, Golden State has turned into a super team again because of Phoenix having DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker that they drafted, and I'll give you that. And now add Chris Paul. Now they're a super team. Denver with Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray, that's a threesome that all of a sudden makes them a super team. Milwaukee, I dare say Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis after winning a championship, they made themselves formidable. I mean, they will be there in the playoffs. We know that. They could give Brooklyn a run for their money. We know that. What is happening to me? It's hard talking a lot by yourself. I'm running out of spit in my mouth. But I love basketball, and we're going to move more into that. But we're going to talk about all kinds of random shit coming up in the next couple of weeks. Please stick with us. I promise to make things a little shorter and get more on my social media grind. But, I'm just trying to work out the kinks of all this. And I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing it. It doesn't hurt me at all to sit here in front of the camera and just get this crazy out. So thanks so much. I love you guys. Fuck off.